ABC DVD. Two brothers' alphabetical journey through a DVD collection that has finally found peace and balance in their place in the universe. Harmony, if you will. I'm Noah.
I'm Josh.
And welcome to Dances with Wolves evening.
You forgot the movie, didn't you?
No, I did.
Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves.
Yep. 1990s Oscar-winning movie about,
Yeah, this was one of those big films of its time.
Yeah.
Came out November 21st, 1990.
Mm-hmm.
Written by Michael Blake, who does not have a lot. This is his story, but he also wrote Stacy's Night, The One, and The Windaloo. Directed and starring Kevin Costner.
Yep.
Who,
Passion Project.
was known for Robin Hood, The Bodyguard, and The Field of Dreams. But before I go to the other actors, this is gonna. I actually had a question.
Yeah, that's fine.
For your insider baseball knowledge,
I do like insider baseball knowledge.
When it is directed and starring the same person, how does that go on?
That is a difficult thing for each director. Kind of figures it. I listened to Kevin Smith, who is and in all his movies is Silent Bob, and sometimes he's like, if you see me high in the background, kind of look at milk crates, I'm actually watching the film. Other ones will, like, in the digital area, it's a little bit easier because they can watch the playback instantly. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, in like this situation, they have to highly trust their director of photography and their AD to say, that looked good.
I mean, because I'm thinking of like Braveheart too. It's like, you are literally
in the scene,
in all the scenes. Yeah. How are you also directing this?
Well, and I might talk about some things in this that I don't like that might have been helpful to have someone else say something.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Mary McDonnell, who plays Stands with Fist. Mm-hmm. She is known for Battlestar Galactica.
So say we all.
Donnie Darko.
Yep.
And Margin Call. Also starring Graham Greene, who is Kicking
guy.
Bird.
Yep.
He's in The Green Mile, Wind River, and Maverick.
Yep.
It cost $22 million to make, $3 million of which was from Kevin Costner's own thing, because the studios didn't have a lot of faith in this. They didn't like A, how long it was, and B, how much subtitle was in it. They just sounds like this is not going to be a good Western.
Well, and then there was a Western not too long before this that failed, and they were afraid that this was going to go the same way, and they kept making fun of saying, "Oh, it's Kevin Costner's way of it's his passion project. He's just gonna fall down with it." Yeah,
but it made $424 million, and he recouped $40 million just on his own.
and Oscars out the yin yang.
Well, and I think it's not the first of these kind of films, but it is definitely one of the better known one that kind of solidified it in the zeitgeist of the hero who kind of gets in.
It's the white. It's not white savior per se. But it's that being mystified and enamored by the culture that you were told to hate, and then adopting it and being adopted by it, and then trying to defend it against your previous
No, and I mean, I think you did bring up the white saviors. Other films take this model and definitely run with the white savior. I'm thinking of
Last Samurai,
Avatar. And even Avatar. Yeah. Are these movies to a T, except having the white savior, basically save the culture, whereas this one doesn't really lean into that.
No, so where this one has that, history is sad. The others were like, well, we don't like that history is sad. We're going to have it be more upbeat, or at least powerful, like with Last Samurai of, they're going to have this massive battle at the end and everyone dies, or Avatar where he wins and makes the bad Americans, bad humans leave the planet, where this was like, no, this is inevitable, we all know it,
right? But I mean, I think going back and seeing it, I almost expected a giant battle at the end, because we've been kind of programmed.
I expected the Last Samurai, we're going to run the guns and we're all going to die.
Yeah. Whereas
we'll get to it. But
we'll get to it. But I think if you kind of have seen Avatar, all these, this is kind of tracing it back to, this is the movie that set that storyline up.
Yeah. And it starts, in a bloody Civil War tent. I guess we should back up and actually do the director, writer.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean, you did the starings.
Well, I did them all.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, but I didn't do this summary.
Yes, so we should do our synopsis.
Our synopsipods. A Civil War soldier develops a relationship with a band of Lakota Indians. Attracted by the simplicity of their lifestyle, he chooses to leave his former life behind to be with them. Having observed him, they give him the name Dances with Wolves. Soon he is welcomed member of the tribe and falls in love.
Yeah.
It's Sioux.
Okay, that's why I was like,
it is Sioux.
The Lakota. I was like, are Lakota and Sioux interchangeable? I mean, I know it's the Lakota language.
It's the Lakota language, and that's why I was like, I was going to actually bring that up. That's why I chose this synopsis. It was better than the IMDb.
Okay, fair enough.
No, it is the Lakota language. It is the Sioux tribe.
Yeah.
So when you hear them talking, when they say Sioux in the language, they're saying Lakota.
Okay.
And that is, it is one of those dialectical misappropriations. It is the Sioux tribe.
Okay.
They speak Lakota.
Yeah, I think it's because that's what they could find a dialect coach for. And I know that initially they wanted like the Comanche tribe, but then it's like, well, we want Buffalo, and the Comanche weren't near the Buffalo, so they changed it to Sioux.
And it was funny because the Lakota language is a
gendered language.
And they didn't have time to teach them all the proper gendered, so they said, no, we're going to do this one. Everyone just memorized their lines. And they said when they showed it to the Sioux tribes, they all were kind of giggling because
the men were talking like
the
women.
The warriors were talking in the female, and they all thought that was a little humorous to them. But
it's like, hey, efforts to actually use a Native American language, try to get it as accurate as possible. I mean, I even read that Kevin Costner's like, you learn it or you do not work on this film.
No,
and he's like, and that goes for me too.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things that you can applaud this for is that you did take the time to make it right. And I think movies should be given props when they don't take the shortcuts that have caused problems in the past.
But we open up in the Civil War in a hospital tent of bloody feet, and we don't see any faces. And
well, basically the surgeon saying, "Is this the last one? I'm tired.
I can't cut off his leg right now. I'm
too tired. I need some coffee." And Kevin Costner is the aforementioned person with the bloody foot, and he is not going to have his foot cut off today.
Yeah.
A lot of effort into getting his boot back on, showing that this is not comfortable.
This is painful, and he does not want to live, with one leg, so he heads back to the front line.
Yeah, which is in Tennessee, and it is one of those things where both sides are just kind of waiting around. It is kind of the funny thing of like, you have the commanding officer pacing, he goes, and the general's overlooking, he goes, and the soldiers are like, we're just kind of waiting. We know it's going to happen eventually, but we're, for the time being, going to just wait it out. But Kevin Costner, whether he is on a suicide run or
it does seem like a suicide run, is like he does not want to go back to the hospital and have his leg cut off and maybe die from that way. He wants to just, I'm going to die in battle or whatever, what's easiest, and rides in between the two lines and gets shot at, and no one hits him. Twice.
Which emboldens the Union side, which he's on. It almost invigorates the South Side side. Like, this is a game. Because they don't take shots when he's just hanging out there. Like, no, you come try that again. Like,
it's like a carnival game. Right past us. We'll
exactly. And so they are taking a lot of effort to do this, and it gives the Union a moment of distraction to basically ride in.
And a fun little thing of there's a sharpshooter on the Confederate side that's about to kill him, and then gets shot in the head. The old man that kills that man is Kevin Costner's father. Bill Costner is like, hey, you want to be in my movie? You can save my life. It's like, yeah, I want to be in the movie. Yeah.
But it is a fun little thing, is like this moment does allow them to win a victory, which gets him in good graces with the general.
Gets a better surgeon to save his foot, and then gets the posting of his choosing, and he wants to be as far away from this war in this land. He wants to go to the frontier.
Yep, and he gets transferred out west. He meets the commanding officer, who is
bizarre.
Well, and I was trying to figure out, I was like, is he? I mean, I because was trying to kind of suss it out. I figure because this is during the Civil War, all the able-bodied soldiers are going to be back, east.
Yeah.
All the undesirables are going to get posted as far out as possible. And so that's my guess, is that he is either known to be a problem, or he's depressed, or he's clinical on something, because you can hear when he opens up his desk drawer that there are bottles galore.
I mean, he's talking of like Sir Knight and all these things.
He's off.
He's off. And then,
and there was a moment of
he peed himself.
There was a moment of lucidity where he's like, wait, you requested out here? Why?
Like, this isn't funny anymore. Why would you want that?
And this also sets up why he gets to be alone for so long is that he posts him out there and then kills himself. So no one actually knows
he's out there.
He's out there.
Yeah.
So it is one of those things that is not blatantly said, but you realize why he is alone for so long is no one actually knows he's there.
Yeah. This is not a well operated time frame.
No,
everything's going to the Civil War. Nothing's going to the frontier.
Right. But he gets a wagon ride out to the fort. I had to laugh because the wagon driver, it reminded me of Blazing Saddles. Like, that is some great frontier gibberish if I've ever heard it.
Yeah, we're all lucky to have heard it. Yeah. And I did like just jumping around of they mock the skeleton. He mocks the skeleton that they find, and he dies the same way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they do set him up to be unlikable.
Yeah,
he's crude.
Shockingly, a lot of white people in this movie are unlikable.
Yeah. I did have to like go like, oh, you can put that in your book. I just really wanted to be like, I'm going to kill him.
But they make it to the fort, which is more of a hut.
Yeah, it's some homesteads.
Yeah.
It's empty. It is that kind of almost like when you see a movie about a writer, he just wants to get to his destination so he can be by himself.
Yep. And he looks like he starts doing his work of, I have to clean it up. The water's poisoned because there's animals in it. These are there's one taxidermy deer and then actual real deer. These are from roadkill that the local authorities brought in. So there's like, well, they're already dead.
You can use them.
So this movie took great pains not to hurt animals. And this is one of those examples of, we're not even going to use an actual carcass unless it was going to waste anyway. So let's use it and honor it.
Well, and he sets up a fire pyre, and it's like this was a great misdirection. I appreciate this one where it then shows some natives looking like only a white man would be stupid enough to set a fire in the middle of the day for all of us to see. But it's not. It's the wagon driver,
and he
gets pretty brutal. I mean, it does. I mean, there is going to be a contrast between these two tribes.
Yeah.
Of this is a native who is not happy.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it shows that he does not take care in killing this person. He is slowly killing him,
and then scalps him while he's still alive. Yeah. So, but this is when we go back to Kevin Costner and him cleaning up. This is where I think another person as a director, or at least someone that he trusted, would have been beneficial, because my God, his narration is the most monotone, emotionless narration I've ever heard. And it's like, I understand he's narrating what he's writing in his journal.
Yeah.
And that it's like, okay, well, this is after the day. I was like, oh, there's a wolf. I'm going to name 2 socks. And there's like, but a little bit more oomph would have helped these scenes. Because if you think of like a movie not far long after this of Gettysburg, where you have a lot of internal monologue, those are emotional and add to the scene where these are like, okay, well, you're just telling me things. Right. And I understand
there was one thing I have a big question mark because it never gets answered. So it's one of those things of why make mention if you're not going to explain it of the caves.
Yeah.
It's like, he ponders it, but it never gets fully. It's like, so you did take time, which this is a very long movie. This is
3 hours
1 minute long,
and it could have been 5 hours initially.
Well, and there is a director's cut that is that long. But it's like there's not much to complain about. So if we're gonna be nitty gritty, these are the little things.
These are little things like, did we need all the beautiful shots of South Dakota and parts of Wyoming of to make it pretty? No, but it does help. It does help, and it shows that the passage of time and that this is a beautiful land.
Yeah, and it we do have some of like almost like a Robinson Crusoe in these beginning parts of he is lonely. It is empty. He makes friends with the wolf.
Yeah,
the wolf, which is actually 2 wolves.
Yes.
They were owned by Michael Caine. And so they are domesticated. They were then after this movie given a retirement to a working
a wildlife preserve for working animals.
Yes, but I always like it's an old folks retirement home.
It kind of makes me think of like in Animaniacs, the Slappy the squirrel going to the retirement home of old animal actors.
Exactly. Same idea.
Yeah.
But no, this first scene is like he's been alone for 30 days straight. He does laundry day.
Yeah.
He's doing a thing when he gets his first visitor.
He gets caught with his pants down or off. Got a lot of Costner butt here.
And it's like, he definitely reacts like, but it's like, he says like, oh, he seemed to be put off by me. He's like, I too would run away from a naked man running at me.
Yelling at me going, hey! So it's like, Costner, just dangling, coming at me. Graham Greene, run!
But, so we are now getting into kind of like the second act of these two groups are going to start interacting.
Where the tribe goes back and
they're the council.
They're having their first council of what do we do with this, new man on our land.
Well, and there is this talk of some of them like, well, we should just kill him. And then there's some like, well, no, let's figure this out.
Because if you kill someone, then others might come.
Exactly.
And as the one's like, this might be a way to get someone to know what we want.
Well, and it does show, because I mean, if you do the history of various tribes, showing like there are elders, but there's not one person in command.
Yeah,
they definitely have more of a democratic process of them saying like, listen, I can't stop you
from doing this.
My opinion, as someone with merit, is like we should not, and so they say, okay, well, we're gonna do it. But
I'll send the angry guy and the one willing to talk. But
before that,
that's true.
Is three youths,
yeah,
overhear this and they think, oh, this is a great way we can go mess with Kevin Spacey. They
Costner.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We can go mess with Kevin Costner. Three U's messing with Kevin Spacey. That's a whole different story.
Oh God.
But they go and they get him, and he is unprepared. He knocks himself out. You get a pratfall.
This night raid works poorly for both sides.
But you do get a small running joke, which I appreciate, is they try to steal the horse, and the horse is having none of it.
Yeah, the horse is smarter than anyone in this movie kind of thing.
Cisco
the horse.
He comes back, one of the kids breaks his arm.
Or dislocates it, I don't know.
Something.
Yeah. I thought, if, because it's been a while since I watched it, I thought this was how he's going to ingratiate himself to the tribe of, oh, the kid's left behind. He's going, oh, no. It just goes badly for both sides.
Well, and then, so the user, but then the angrier of the two, wind in his hair, basically says, I'm going to go steal the horse.
Yeah.
And goes there, and they have this kind of standoff moment, which I think is done really well, as neither one
actually attacks.
They both raise their weapons, and there is this standoff moment, and there's like, it's chest thumping.
It's chest thumping, and I think this is important for what happens much later on in the film. Of he rides up right to him and doesn't get shot at and doesn't attack, whereas later on with Kevin Costner, that is not the case.
It's not the case.
Yeah. So.
And then we get the second joke of the horse comes back again. There's another warrior on his butt.
Yeah, and I do also love when they go back to the second group meeting. It's like, he's just a stupid white man with a very smart horse.
Yes. It is cute. But Kevin decides to take the stand of, okay, I'm going to go to your village and make, try
to make the
project. But on his way, he finds a woman hurt.
Yeah.
And does, I guess the chivalrous thing if he tries to help her and, slips into the village and gets a frosty reception. But it is that same thing of they tell him to, go off, and he's trying to say, like, this woman's hurt, and they reluctantly, they take the woman, they say, okay, now go away.
Yeah.
And the warriors come up to, kind of like take chase, and they're called off saying, hey.
No.
He didn't come here for a fight. We're going to let him go.
Yeah.
And so it is laying these foundations
of how without communication that they're starting to understand each other.
Which leads to the elder saying, I'm going to send two of you.
Yeah.
I'm going to send a calm one and an angry one.
And see what happens. Yeah.
And I thought this was interesting because this reminds me of something our father, who was fluent in Japanese, said, when you meet someone for the first time and you're trying to establish a language, you basically try to point out an object and try to both say it.
Yeah.
And it is tricky because you don't want to like point to a chair and say, is that the word for chair? Because they might be saying the word sit.
Yeah.
In using buffalo, they establish the first dialogue.
Yeah. Because there's a great not true story, but it's become kind of common language of like the first some of James Cook's first journeys to Australia. They pointed out at the kangaroo. It's like, hey, what's that? And then they go kangaroo. It's like, oh, it's kangaroo. It's like, that meant I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I was like, no, is that a true story? No, but it does adds to the point. But
this is how this is how a dialogue.
He wants to see a buffalo, and the buffalo are important to the Sioux, so they both like, oh, Okay, yeah, no, we know what you're trying to say.
Right, and so that starts the dialogue.
Yeah.
And the second visit is cute.
Yeah.
I offered them coffee, and they're all just kind of like,
it's like, just try
throw some sugar in it. And that's how I would make coffee. Like, it needs a lot more sugar.
And it's like, throw it into Grand Greens. It's like, that's a lot of sugar. It's like, yeah, no, but it's probably palatable, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we go back to this mysterious woman is now better. She is a white woman living amongst the Sioux, and we find out that, no, she is called Stands with Fists.
Yeah.
She speaks the language.
She's
a widower.
Yeah.
So we're getting a lot of backstories really quickly. But Kicking Bird has come to her and said, I want you to be a go-between. You need to access your
childhood memories.
You need to speak white for us.
Yeah. And there's a very nice touch here with her hair.
Mm-hmm.
That it's always like frazzled and slightly unkempt, because she has a different hair type than what Native Americans would have, and so they don't know really how to deal with it.
No,
I do like that. It's like, it's not dirty, but it's not sheen and long and flowing.
It's like it's like there is no. She's not wearing makeup.
Yeah,
she's not having her hair done, which is like, a lot of modern movies would be like, well,
they're stunningly
like,
beautiful in the morning, and
they wouldn't if she was out. Like I said, it's that attention to detail, which ingratiates. We get a flashback to where her origins come from.
Yeah,
of that her family was killed by the Pawnee, which is the other tribe in the area.
The one that killed the wagon driver.
Exactly. The little girl is Kevin Costner's daughter, Annie, and when you see her running away from the tribe, you see her look over both of her shoulders. When she looks back, he had given her direction, look over your left shoulder, but as she's running, she forgot.
Well, her left or right.
So she's I'll cover my bases and do both.
It's like,
I mean, it's cute. It's that use your family members.
My first hatred of this movie comes in this scene is that the puppies is shot. This is an actual puppy. It is actually dead. It came from a local animal shelter. It was euthanized because it was sick. It was not going to make it. So it's like, again, they used practical things when doing so, but didn't do so in a cruel way. But the dog died, so I hate this movie.
It's like, I will bring it up many times. Something happens, Josh is sad.
Yes, it is so true.
So they bring there's a third visit to Kevin. They bring the buffalo hide as a present.
Yeah, saying, have you seen the buffalo?
And he's this whole time he's been waving at the warriors on the ridge. And this is the first time when someone waves back. And I
love everyone turns to him and it's like, really?
Carl,
you get us.
One of them, I swear, smirks. Like, really? This whole time we're trying to stay
stoic warrior.
It is nice because it is the thawing of relationships.
Yeah.
But this is basically when he writes down that the stigma around these people is wrong.
Yeah, it's that nothing I've been told about this people is correct.
Yes,
and this line has been mimicked in other movies, but this is the point of this movie of when you get to know something that you think is wrong, you start to enjoy them or
it is like when you take the time to get to know a person or people. You start to realize that some of those, preconceptions are absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
So he gets invited to the village
and gets to smoke the peace pipe.
Yeah. But you get the first go-between of Fists with Air, and they're starting to do that dialogue. And I had to smile because I do like these kind of little details. He goes, whoa. What's your name?
Yeah.
And the guy goes, oh my gosh, we jumped straight into business.
And
we should introduce ourselves. And he wants to know their name so he can say, like, I want to be able to talk to you as a person.
And this is where we go learn somewhat of the naming conventions of this is what their name translates.
Exactly. And he gets that kind of goes from there. Is they don't ever get back to the business at hand. He gets a tour. He gets to like see how they live.
And then we get the Buffaloes in the Mist.
Yep, the early morning stampede, which I haven't heard like back in the day.
Yes,
when there were
countless,
is then when you did hear them, it shook the ground and it sounded like thunder.
Yeah, and this is an actual herd of buffalo that they rented in essence from I think a local rancher. And this scene and the upcoming hunting scene took a lot of time because they would run the buffalo And the buffalo, knowing how to run, would run like 10 miles away. And then the wrangler's like, okay, we're going to go bring him back. We'll do this again tomorrow, I guess. So
Buffalo,
go do something else.
Yeah, buffalo are like, well, if we're gonna run, we're gonna run.
Yeah, and so,
but it's like he's so excited. He goes and he interrupts the ceremony.
Yeah, and they are not happy about that.
I kind of like, I appreciate that it went this way because you just interrupted something. Yes, you're in trouble. And then he's able to say like, no, there's buffalo, and they're all like, oh,
we've been waiting for that.
Excellent, thank you for letting us know. We will not kill you
today. Might as well kill you in the morning.
But yeah, they get. Thank you for that.
Yes.
The village moves. Track the buffalo. And in this, they come across a lot of dead buffaloes that have obviously been killed by
the white hunters.
This scene, they a lot of them are not. They're not paper mache, but they are.
They're felt. They're paper mache. They're paint.
But they did such a good job that local
police were called
because they thought they were poaching someone's thing, and the police had a good laugh of, "Oh wait, no, we know what's going on here. Thank you, but
they came out. They poked us like it's not real, guys. It's not real."
I imagine you're like in like the World War II, and they had the fake tanks. Like one of them lifts the buffalo over their heads, like it's paper.
It's paper. We're good. Yeah, but again, to show that their commitment to realism. I mean, it's like some of the tribal actors said it's like, no, it was emotional to see this field full of buffalo being told the stories of how this destroyed them.
Well, and you are getting that the economy of like, this is what the white man is doing, and this is their livelihood.
Yeah, they're just killing them for their tongues and their for hides.
Yeah,
but they're killing more than they need.
Exactly.
In this upcoming hunting sequence against the herd, Costner is actually riding and shooting, doing all his own riding stunts in this, and it's impressive. And
and it's like not only and it just for anyone who has never ridden a horse, it is painful even with a saddle. And these actors are doing it bareback, which is extremely painful and extremely difficult.
But and also for those who are concerned, the buffalo that are taken down in these raids aren't real either. These are highly expensive mechanical buffalo to have them move, have them fall. They would be like so they could shoot them and toss them so they could fall down. None of them are real. I mean, the herd is real, but any that go down are not real.
No,
they cost about like $250,000 to make these.
It caught me because I'm like, I see one fall like that. They're gonna lose their ASPCA thing.
And it is impressive. And there's a fun moment where one of the young one of the youths gets knocked off, and a buffalo is starting to chase after them. And there's a fun little piece of trivia to get this buffalo to chase where they wanted it to. It was going after its favorite snack of Oreo cookies.
Well, after we get me to write
Oreo cookies. It was a very lovable buffalo.
I will trample you for some Oreo cookies.
Like a lovable buffalo running back and forth, going after its cookies. I was like, that makes me happy for some reason.
But Kevin saves the youth from the stampede thing. He's presented with the heart.
Or the liver.
Is it liver?
It's a liver. Oh, okay. It's a Jello liver.
I don't know if that makes it
even better. But
sorry, I thought it was the heart.
No, it's a liver. So I don't. And they eat it raw. It's that powerful after the hunting and shared moment.
But there's a feast. There's things. This is where you get the bonding friendship between
Wind in his hair,
and Kevin Costner is he trades his jacket for his breastplate. And you get it's a good trade, which comes up rather quickly because there's this, this is part of the culture of storytelling is important, being
sharing
part
food,
of the community. And he's tired, but he goes like, I'll do it one more time. And he sees that one of the other warriors has his hat, which you do see in another scene. Flies off. And he goes, no, he
left it on the plane. He doesn't want it.
It's the almost like the playground's like, well, you dropped it and didn't claim it. It's mine now. And it is a tense moment where he goes, that it's his. If you're gonna keep it, you give him a trade, and he does it. And I don't know if
this is like his warrior's knife or something.
It isn't, but it almost is like Kevin Costner knows that this is what's going on, and he accepts. Like,
I don't really need the hat. It's also it's a symbolic, like I'm giving up one of my last vestiges of my old life kind of thing too. Of he's giving away his clothing. Of his military life is kind of over now.
He has nothing.
He's 100 now.
He winds in his hair. Says good trade.
Yes.
And it is everyone, this is, and then Kevin Costner goes back to his, I think it's like one of the last times he actually is at his homestead
and he gets to feed Two Socks the wolf finally from his hand, which has been a big moment. And it's again probably that tentative trust between two unknown things of very much like the tribe of I need to slowly build this dialogue. He needs to slowly build his trust with this wolf. He finally gets to feed him the jerky. Yeah,
but it's like he realized it's now autumn. He's been spending more time at the camp. They've given him his own place.
Yep.
He finds out that they're going to go to war with the Pawnee.
Yeah. And he wants to help.
He wants to help, and they're like, "Yeah, that's
you're not one of our warriors.
You're not one of our warriors. It's I almost want to be like, listen, that's going to cause more problems.
You showing up is like, oh, that's a political problem. Like, why don't you stay here, guard my family, keep an eye on things.
And that's when he finds out that he has been given the name Dances with Wolves because they've seen him basically playing with this.
Yeah, because there was a scene where the wolf was kind of chasing him and he was chasing back. This was a kind of a tense moment for Kevin Costner because the wolf actually did get the trainer's leg when because there's a moment where he's supposed to cut the leg and nip him. Actually took the trainer down and kind of got the leg. So Kevin Costner, while he was doing the scene, was dropping like little pieces of meat so that he was like, don't get me. But actually was quite happy to play with the wolves.
Yeah, no, it looked fun. But he has been given the role of staying behind and kind of keeping guard over the family members who don't go to war.
Yeah, and this is where the relationship stands with Ray's fist. We learn where the romantic relationship starts to actually flourish. He gets to learn where she gets her name.
Yeah,
of how she's. It's like I stood up to the Karen of the tribe.
Well, it's like to me, it's like yeah, that's just standard prison yard rules. Find the biggest person and knock him out.
Yeah,
but it worked.
I beat down Talks with too much crap, and she doesn't.
But you're starting to see that Kevin he knows the language enough that he's talking to one of the arrows saying like, hey, what's her story? It's like, well, she's in mourning. Well, how long? Well,
it's up to her father, which is Graham Greene.
Yeah.
And
but it progresses to where they're he kind of goes back to his homestead to get some stuff, and she's like, oh crap, I messed up. I really need to see him. He comes back. She's in the water. And they turn into teenagers.
Yeah, they just go crazy.
They go crazy. And this is not the first scene that you're like, where you're like, geez, guys, you're making me feel awkward. I mean, great that you're, this budding romance.
And as we learned in like an earlier scene where Kevin Costner is in the tent of like, don't show this. If someone's doing this, you look the other way. Do not show me this.
But yeah, so they're having these moments where basically it's like, don't. You're like, we need to play it cool. We need to play it cool.
Oh, right.
There's an emergency council meeting of like the Pawnee are coming.
Yeah.
He offers his guns, which he knows is going to.
Yeah, it turns the tide of higher technology in warfare is the deciding factor.
Exactly. It's like you might be outnumbered, but if you have a better weapon, you can say they. And we get to the battle day as the Pawnee come in. They disable the alarm system, which is the dogs.
Yeah.
Josh is sad.
Yeah. Sorry, this was the dog that was shot. Sorry. But yeah.
I was like, there could have been a puppy.
There might have been a puppy, but you're right. This is the dog that was shot.
Okay. But it is a harsh battle. You can see that they have the numerical advantage, the Pawnee do.
Yeah.
But when the guns are introduced, it goes.
It's one side. It's like it's the most. They said it's the most one-sided battle we've ever had, and it's like, oh yay! And then part of your brain is like, oh no.
Yeah, it's like one of those. Like, But it is showing at this moment that he is now fully embraced. This new life.
Because these were the weapons he hid from them. Purposely buried, and then
he
like,
goes, no, you don't have them all.
We're gonna go into the rain and find them back.
But they win. The war party comes back. There's a great party. And there's a tender moment, like it's almost like pillow talk. Wins in his kicking Bird by his wife saying like, hey, how long are we gonna let her mourn? Well, why? Like, she's kind of like someone. Well, who?
Oh,
the other white guy. Really? Just like, would you just? It's like it is so cute. It's like, would you just deal with it? And
it's like, oh, you really are her father. Look at that.
He comes up and goes, you're done mourning. Nice talk, Dad.
and then I love the little girl next to us and she like looks at her and is like, yeah, I know what this is about. Everyone knows this is about. He's the only one who didn't know this was about.
But no, there's a cute wedding scene of, and I'm like,
I do love. It's like I kind of zoned out on what was part of me because I love the things on her outfit, her tiny feet. Wait, what? And I was like, this line was written by Quentin Tarantino. But
tiny
tiny little dainty feet.
They're like little pieces of corn. Like, what?
Maize.
But no, they have. He is now fully part of the tribe now, and he eventually answers the question that Kicking Bird wants to know: is how many white people are coming? And he's like, listen,
you're not gonna stop them.
You're not gonna stop them. You do get a talk with the elder, saying he pulls out the conquistador helmet.
And I don't know my history. Did the conquistadors make it this far? Okay, so they made this. I knew they made it all the way west in like south in Mexico. And did they make it to Wyoming?
They made it to Colorado. I am sure, knowing the Spanish territory. I mean, it is that kind of overlap that it was part French, part Spanish. You know, it is. And
since it was his grandfather's grandfather, it's like they could have been
further south.
They could have been migrating south and north, and so
But so basically, it's like, listen. We have been here with the conquistadors. We have been under Mexico. We've dealt with the Texans,
and you don't want to mess with Texans.
And now the U.S. But he's old enough to know. Like, listen, it's been getting worse every time.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to get, but there's no point in going
anywhere else.
Like,
this is our land. We want to fight.
We'll fight for it when we have to fight for it. But there's no need to go.
Yep, and it's about we'll break camp and we'll go to our winter camp.
Yeah, we'll go to winter camp, but he realizes that he's left his journal, which almost basically pinpoints where they are. So he goes back, and there's the military.
And Joshy's sad.
Yeah, the soldiers, when he rides up, confuse him for a native, and they shoot and they kill the horse, and Joshy's sad.
Yeah, Cisco gets shot, and then as I said earlier, where Kevin Costner showed restraint, these soldiers do not. It's like, no, we don't care.
Shoot on
sight, and then it's like, wait, he's white. Wait, he's a lieutenant. Can we back this up? It's like, oh, there was a book. It's like, anyone find a book? It's like, no, we never found a book, and they're obviously lying. But they're also in that kind of tragic thing. They're using it for toilet paper. He didn't have to go back for this book.
No, and it's like he's given military hospitality, which it is the gambit of showing that.
Yeah,
it doesn't take the wide brushstroke of everyone's a bastard. It's like the commanding officer doesn't really want to be there.
Yeah,
the second in command is a little more restrained. He wants to kind of understand this. And then the people below him are all kind of bastards.
Yeah.
But he's basically going to be sent back east to be hung as a traitor.
Yeah.
On their way back,
Joshy's sad.
His wolf friend comes out, and they basically take target practice at him, and then Joshy's sad.
Yeah, they kill two socks. Now, in reality, what they have is like a pin out, like a fence, so that the wolf wouldn't run away.
Yeah.
But in essence, it's just, it could run back and forth, and there were just puffs of air that would kind of startle it. Mm-hmm. So they did cause a little stress to this wolf, but not overtly. It's no worse than a squeaky toy.
Right. And the company commander is frustrated. Like, would you knock it off? And he stops, them from going over and seeing that there's an ambush waiting there. They eventually catch up to this wagon train, and there's a fight in the river.
And all the bad people die.
And the journal floats away.
Yeah. But it's like, because of this, Kevin Costner is like, he knows, is like,
I can't ever go home.
I can't stay here. They're going to hunt for me more than they're going to hunt for you.
Right, because they make it back to the winter camp.
Yeah.
There is the teenage awkward thing where they jump off the horses. He sees his wife, and it's like, I really want to have a scene of all the other natives going, geez, these two again.
It's like, oh, come on, guys.
But he talks to the council. And he goes, I have to leave, and that is not met with a lot of fanfare. Well, that stinks.
Yeah, it's like we worked so hard to get you back, but it's like, this is for you guys.
Yeah,
and it's like
they're gonna come for me. I know my people.
And you get this great thing with winning his hair. And
he's given one more opportunity to say goodbye to everyone. He does one more gift exchange with Kicking Bird, where he gives them the pipe that he's been working on, and he gives them another ceremonial knife. The youth that he saved his journal, and then Wind in His Hair is up on the ledge, screaming I'm your friend, don't leave me.
Yeah, it's like very much that he started with yelling and is ending with yelling, and it's like, as he said, her previous husband was his best friend, her current husband is his best friend.
Well, and this whole time you're getting the soldiers getting closer, and I think it's one more misdirection, which I think if it plays more now because we're so used to it. Is like you think that they're going to come across the camp, and they get there and they're gone.
Yeah, they listened and broke camp.
Yeah, they broke camp and they got away. Yeah, and the last scene is them riding off into the snow.
Yeah, it's like, okay, they're just the two of them now, and they're going to be on the run forever.
Yeah, and you're given the final thing of, well, this didn't go well.
Yeah,
eventually the Sioux, the Lakota people had to yield to the U.S. military, which if you know Western history, it's like, well,
the sad history of this country, of one of many things. But on the plus side of this movie's portrayal of it, the Lakota were so happy with Kevin Costner that they adopted him into the tribe.
No, and
I think, you know, that because he took that care to get the language to show them as, you know, that Westerns didn't do.
Nope.
You know, and to show that the hardships of this history, that it's deserved. And this also brought to mind of the Bodyguard movie that he's also in, is that he went to bat heavily for Whitney Houston in that, when the studios didn't want that, and he fought and like took pay cuts and everything just to make sure she was in. It's like, and I'm just like, Kevin Costner, a much better person than I ever thought. You know?
Well, I mean, I think it is when you get to hear the stories, and it's like, it's not to like a lot of fanfare, but it definitely shows off when a movie takes the time to do it correctly.
Yes,
it's like, it may not be the most budget friendly, it may not always be the thing that a
it's
studio
the most
wants,
entertaining or something.
But it's like, but it's done right, and I think when you see a movie like this over, you know, older things, like, well, this has staying power because you can feel the genuine.
Yeah, and Graham Greene as Kicking Bird, he's one of my. I always love when he comes up in a movie. It's not as often, and he was also on the show Red Green, the Red Green Show, and I love, there was a joke in there of, they were talking about Dances with Wolves. It's like, oh, and there was this one actor in there, he deserved the Oscar because he was nominated, but unfortunately didn't get it.
I mean, we could spend a whole podcast talking about Oscar snubs and why we don't enjoy Oscar.
Yes,
but no, I think this is an excellent film. It ages nicely. It is, I think, a staple in the history of cinema, and definitely gives us a lot of stories that we probably see a lot more today than we did before.
Yeah, I mean, the joke of Avatar of, oh, it's just Dances with Wolves with blue people is true. But where that one had the power fantasy at the end, this one has the historical melancholy.
Yeah,
and it's more powerful because of that.
Because of it.
And I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad I have it. It's definitely worth the watch.
Oh yeah,
even with its length and my nitpickiness about the narration, which doesn't draw too far away from it. It just could have been.
No, and I think it holds up there. Like, you know, I had mentioned Braveheart before. It's like, no, when you take the time to get it right and do it, you know, justice, I think you have a film that, you know, stands the test of time.
Yeah.
I have no good segue from talking about something like this to our next film, which is Ernest Saves Christmas.
Oh, what do you mean? I mean, it could have been. This movie's so earnest in its way. It does.
I'm not even going to do that.
It will not be little this movie.
We were so close. When you were listening to this, it'll be like the week after Christmas. You know, it's like one of those like,
we tried
it. But it's like, it's close enough. So
enjoy a stupid childhood Christmas movie.
So hope you saw this. I hope you will have a good Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Yep, holidays all
around. And we will see you in the new year.
Bye. Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves.
Yep, movie.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
We're going to cut that part out. It's a movie. Oh, we're done.
Thanks for coming by.